At Fermentus, we pride ourselves on providing high-quality yeast and fermentation products for brewers. Our SAF yeast range, with easy-to-use certification, can be pitched directly into your wort. But rest assured, you can still rehydrate if that's your way of doing things. Because at Fermentus, we want to help you save time and effort without ever compromising on flexibility and choices. It's up to you. Be creative. Be free. Love beer. Fermentus, the obvious choice for beverage fermentation.
Hola, eu sou Mikel, eu sou de Barcelona, eu não falo português, so I will continue in English. For me, it's a pleasure to be here in the Beer Summit, just to try to explain a little bit about the craft beer scene in Spain and what's happening on the beer now in our country. My name is Mikel, I'm the director of the Barcelona Beer Festival, Barcelona Beer Challenge, and also the InBrew, the Brewers Convention. I'm also teacher in the University of Tarragona, the Rovira Virgili beer sector. So this kind of studies of the state of art, we are very used to do it. I want to explain a little bit about our festival, the Barcelona Beer Festival, one of the biggest in Europe, 35,000 attenders in the last edition before COVID for sure, and for sure in the future we will arrive at this number and we will continue going on. Also, the Barcelona Beer Challenge is the biggest beer competition in Spain, with 1,250 beers in the last edition. And for the last, our third project is the Brewers Convention, called InBrew, that 1,500 professionals attended in the last few. Something similar that this beer summit, that we have a lot of connections between both continents about our passion on the beer. But now I want to explain you a little more about what's happening in the beer in Spain. Spain is a country in the south of Europe. For sure you know it. It's about 47 million of people living there, a bit less than Brazil for sure, and it's a surface of 500,000 square meters. This is a very, very, very easy orientation about all the big beer. It's not craft beer. The source is the Brewers of Europe, and you can see how the evolution of the beer in our country for the last 5 years, and it's about 38, 39 million of hectares in all the beer. It's a 6-country production in Europe beer. The consumption is quite similar, it's 57 liters per capita every year. We are now in the same position, about the 5 to 6 in Europe, and you can see another tiles or info about what is the consumption of beer. Spain is famous for the wine, for sure, but nowadays we are a beer country too. Also, this is the information that have the Brewers of Europe now from our country. 519 breweries. It's a production of 39 million of hectares, and percentage of export, and that's on, and 9,100 people working. This photo is all about all the beer in our country, but we needed, or we want to know more about what's happening with the craft beer in Spain. If we enter in another source, the Cerveceros de España is the big association of the big companies and also the smallest one in Spain. The numbers they publish, they have a lot of info of the big companies like Mau San Miguel, Dam, Heineken, or Hijos de Ribera, Grupo Agora, and the company from Canarias. They are the big guys playing in the beer scene in our country. But they also say that just 0.1 million of hectares is produced by the little ones. But it's an estimation. They really don't know exactly what is happening on the craft beer. It's just estimation and orientation number. So we really want to know what's happening. We want to know exactly numbers of our beer scene. So in the past 5 years, we had made this study just for Catalonia. Catalonia is a country inside Spain, in the northeast. And for the last 5 years, we have made this state of craft beer in Catalonia. More or less 100 breweries, 3.5 million of liters. This number goes very down for the COVID. It was used to be around 5 million liters. It means the 1.5 market share. So this is the situation in this region in Catalonia. We also make the same for the Basque Country. Basque Country is in the north of Spain. We make it for 3 years, and it's about 21 breweries working nowadays. It's a smaller country, the Basque Country, but it's higher the market share. It's about 2.5 the market share in the Basque Country. But nowadays, or before 1 year ago, we don't have information of all Spain. So we try to solve it, and we create the first edition of the Informe Técnico de la Cerveza Artesanal Independiente. So what's happening with the craft beer in Spain? At least we make a checklist of all the breweries. It's about 420 breweries really working. We call it, we text it, we really get in contact with them. So these 420 breweries is real working on the beer nowadays. They brew 17.4 million liters, and it's 1.1 the market share actually of the craft beer in Spain. I say another time, this is the first time that someone take the phone and get in contact with all the brewers. So these numbers are real. So we can say that the market share in Spain nowadays for the craft beer is 1.1. This project, this resume is possible with the collaboration of three different partners. From one side is the Association of the Spanish Craft Beer Association. The Social Inno Labs is a foundation focused to digitalize and collaborate to the rural areas, and also the festival. Barcelona Beer Festival collaborate with that project. If we take the focus before this project, we find that there is a very weak legal definition of craft beer in Spain. I copy and translated, you can see here. It's just talking about the personal participation, prioritizing the human, but there's not real law that separates what's craft beer and what's not craft beer. It's a big problem that we hope to solve in the future. But the Association of the Independent and Artisanal Breweries in Spain has their own definition, and we use it regularly. It's focused in 3 ideas. The first one, that you have to be independent. There's no money, there's no capital for the big companies in your company, so you have to be independent. You have to brew less than 5 million liters yearly. And the last, you have to use the malt, the barley, or wheat as a source of to make the beer. For sure, you can make creative beers like a percentage. The 10% could be another ingredients, but the main idea is that you have to use raw materials directly to brew your beers. So with this definition, we feel very comfortable, and that's what we use to make the resume about the craft beer. This is a very nice, a very important picture for us. It's where are situated all the breweries in Spain nowadays. Breweries that they are working. For us, it's the most part of all the map is full, so every region have their own brewery. For us, it's a pleasure, because it changed a lot for the last years. Maybe 10 years ago, it will be the half is not in those maps. So whatever you go in Spain nowadays, you can enjoy a very good beer. After that, this is a situation of the different regions where you can find the breweries. The craft beer scene in Spain started at Catalonia, so the most part of them are in this area, Catalonia. And also you can find it in Castilla, Andalusia, a little bit in the Basque Country, Madrid. It's all around, but it's an important idea to say that the beginning and nowadays the most part of the breweries are still settled in Catalonia. We can talk about the production, general production of all the breweries in Spain. I said before that the 17.5 million of liters is what happened in the last year, but you can see the evolution of the production. The year with most production was 2 years ago, before COVID, before Corona. It was 22 millions of production. It's real. It affects to our sector, the Corona, because it's very linked with the bar, with the restaurant. So the restaurant bars are closed. The breweries sell less beer. We hope that in the next year, when we repeat this kind of a study, it will go up, and we hope to recuperate the 2019 numbers. I don't know if it will be possible, but for sure, in the 2022, the number will be go again up, for sure. I told it before. Now the share of market is 1.1, and we are now under numbers of other countries in our regions. For example, you can see the 3% in Italy, the 4 in France, 5 in Belgium, UK, and 11 in Germany. So we have a lot of opportunities to continue growing, because in other countries very near from us, they are growing a lot, or there is with higher numbers. This, for me, is one of the most important part of this study, just to see what's happening, what is the connection with the raw materials. And we're very happy to see that the 36% of the breweries are using local malts, and the 45% are using local hops, because beer is not only about to brew it, to create. It's very important to see all the picture. It starts on the agriculture, and the brewer, also who sell, and the last point, the consumer. This is a line, and we have to respect and consider all of these lines. So very important that this percentage of people are very linked with the country, with the farmers. It's a very, very, very idea that we want to keep pushing. After that is that nowadays 1,300 people are working directly for the craft beer industry. And what's more important, every liter of a craft beer creates about 50 times more work than an industrial one, because it is artisanal, it's very linked with the environment. So this is a lot of people working with passion about his job, about the beer. This is another important number. For me, unfortunately, is a bit low, because only the 21% of the people working on the beer scene are women. So we have to continue working to keep pushing to get that more women start working in our industry, because they have a lot of positive things to bring to our sector. After that, this is talking about the tourism. We study also the tourism in the Spanish beer scene, and 84% of the breweries work nowadays, open the breweries, that the people can go and study what is happening inside the breweries. And so more numbers about that. 70% have a tasting room or something similar, just that people can go directly to the breweries and enjoy and discover these great beers. Now, for me, there's also an important point, because we talk about craft beer, but the craft beer can be very, very different, and we create 3 different categories on the breweries. This is by our own. It's not official division, but for us it's very, very clear, just to try to explain what it is a brewery. So we make a cut. The brewery is really, really small. We call it nano breweries. That's under 24,000 liters, only 2,000 liters every month. This is 50% of the brewers are still at this level. The second level, we call it micro breweries. that the production is under between 24 and 100 liters yearly. So between 2 and 8,000 liters every month. And last, the biggest, but we call it little breweries, to make the difference with the big guys. It's all the breweries that is brewing for 100,000 liters or more yearly. Just only the 9% of the breweries are at this point nowadays. If we check it every point, here it's only 3 ideas, but we have a lot of another ideas about every brewery. The smallest one, the nano, 1.7 people are working in the medium. They brew the 10% of the beer of the sector. And for what is most important for me, that it is breweries that are not in the big cities. They are rural breweries, the most part of them for sure, but they create a lot of life in all the country. So this 50% of the breweries are very, very small, but they make a very, very important job in his area, his little village. After that, the microbreweries, the people who work is higher for sure. It's near 4 people in every brewery. They make 31% of all the beer, and the 85% have a tap room. So they are also create a community. They are very focused on the beer culture, so people can go directly, talk to the brewers, and discover the beer in the same place. They're making a very, very good job. And the last, the little brewery, the biggest in the craft beer, they create a lot of job. 6.5 people working in every brewery, and the same idea of the raw material. 67% of this brewery are using local raw material, yes, malt or hops. So this is a very high number. That means that the breweries really wants to link with their local communities, also with the farmers. That's all. It's a pleasure to talk about the craft beer scene in Spain. As I say, obrigado. It's a pleasure. I don't know if this is my telephone, my email. It will be a pleasure to explain whatever you need if you never come to Spain, or whenever you have any questions about the craft beer scene in Spain. It will be a pleasure to attend to you.